This map is an abomination. It is shameful.
All right, YouTube, what's the big old deal, man? All right, so this dude right here, this is Republican Vincent Perez. And he might be in some hot water right now because he just exposed the entire Republican Party for redistricting. And he brought receipts. So he's down in Texas, and basically he showed how the maps make one white vote worth 3 Latino votes and 5 black votes. Now, people who don't follow politics or don't care about politics, they might be like, hey, yo, no face, what's redistricting, right? Basically, that's like if you play ball, like let's just say you playing basketball, and the other team was able to move the three-point line closer to their basket but further away from yours, or making the rim big for them and super small for you. You basically setting up the game for you to win. So he was down there and he seen this going on with his own party and he decided to go against it. So let's check a little bit of this out.
I am disappointed in the willingness to mask the racial realities of this map underneath the guise of partisanship. Courts have been clear. Partisanship is not a license to engage in racial discrimination. It wasn't until today that I more fully appreciated what Dr. King wrote in 1963, sitting in a Birmingham jail, expressing his frustration with the moderates of his time. But as Dr. King reminded us, there are those who are more devoted to order than to justice, who prefer the absence of tension than to the presence of truth. I took time away not to avoid my duty, but to better understand the real implications of these maps.
He's about to break it down. I serve in a He's about to break it down for us right now.
District that is majority Hispanic, and on the more than 11 million Texans who look just like them. Their voices deserve to be heard and deserve to count the same as anyone else's. But let's focus on the congressional districts before us. It was mentioned that the underlying goal was simply to improve Republican performance, and Representative Hunter relied on the lawyers to draw the lines. But any fair reading of this map shows what it actually does. It systematically dilutes Latino and Black voting strength while cementing and increasing Anglo control. Any claim to the otherwise is either misunderstanding the racial realities of this map or is deliberately misrepresenting the truth, and neither approach is worthy of this chamber. We have not seen a map this deliberately engineered by skin color since the days that brought Americans to march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama in the 1960s.
Talk that talk, George.
Marches to protest laws designed to sideline Black voters, marches that helped to bring about the Voting Rights Act just months later.
I know his name, Vincent, by the way. I was just talking shit.
Today, Hispanic and white Texans each make up about 40% of our state's population, equal in number. But under the proposed map, 26 of the 38 congressional districts, 70% of our entire state's congressional delegation will be controlled by white majority districts. You cannot say you found a way for one racial group that is 40% of our state's population to have 70% political control in this state and say that the racial disparities are merely coincidental. 45 years ago, Anglo-Texans made up 66% of our state's population. Today, that number is 40%. Yet your map freezes white political control as if the demographics in this state have not changed at all in the last 50 years. And somehow, in the 10 hours it takes to drive from my district in El Paso to yours, Representative Hunter, on the coast, across this vast and diverse state, your lawyers somehow managed to draw non-racial lines that will leave your party representing 90% of one race. And in case if your lawyers didn't advise you, it's not Hispanics or Blacks. Why does your party want to represent 90% of white Texans, but not 90% of Texas Hispanics or Blacks? Because this map has methodically carved and segregated those populations to ensure they cannot influence elections in those 26 white-controlled districts. Here is the cold, hard truth. Under this map, white Texans receive 1 member of Congress for every 445,000 residents. If you are Hispanic, it takes about 1.4 million residents for that same representation. If you are Black, it takes 2 million. In this proposal, a Hispanic Texan has 1/3 the political value of a white Texan under this plan, and a Black Texan 1/5. It would take 3 Hispanics to equal the representation of 1 white Texan and 5 Black Texans to equal the value of 1 white Texan.
Now, he went on and you know, he exposed them for what it was. And for y'all who don't know, man, it's not just happening in one state, right? And he actually got a $10,000 fine for protesting and walking out and going against the grain. Here's some facts you might not know. So the GOP just approved a brand new congressional map, and the map is designed to give them about 5 extra seats in the House of Representatives for the 2026 election. And this is not just happening down in Texas, right? Because that's where he's from. That's what he's speaking on. He's speaking about Texas. They did this in Utah. They straight cut up Salt Lake City into 4 different districts until a judge finally stepped in and said, nah, bruh, this map is unconstitutional. Now, the legislature has until September 24th to do a redraw. But the point is, they tried it. Like Alabama, their map was so disrespectful that it went all the way up to Supreme Court in a case called Allen versus Milligan. The court told Alabama, yo, you got to create a second majority Black district because y'all acting like Black voters don't even exist. So the highest court in the country had to stop them from erasing Black power. That's how bold these maps are. And they ain't even hiding it. Wisconsin, their Supreme Court ruled that the GOP maps were unconstitutional in order to redraw before the 2024 elections. Pennsylvania, same deal. Their court threw out maps that were tilted too far towards Republicans. So don't think this is just happening down in Texas. This is bigger than just one state. Republicans are pushing hard for redistricting in Indiana, Missouri, Florida, Ohio, you name it. And Reuters reported out of all 435 seats in the U.S. House, only about 36 are actually competitive. That means the whole country is already locked up by maps. Now, if you ask me, that's not democracy, that's a monopoly, where they stack the board before the dice even roll. Some of y'all still watching this like, bruh, I don't care about politics, but let me tell you why you should and why this matters. These maps decide everything. Who writes the laws on healthcare? How much funding the schools in your neighborhood get? Whether jobs, houses, and climate policies actually represent you? When they split up our communities, we don't get the same power to demand what we need. And if your voice is muted on the map, it's muted in the laws too. So let me ask y'all, do y'all feel like this is democracy? Or does it feel like straight up cheating? Representative Perez put the numbers out there, but Utah, Alabama, Wisconsin, they all prove this is a nationwide hustle. They're drawing lines to redraw the power. And if we don't pay attention, we'll lose without even knowing it. But drop y'all thoughts in the comments, man. I really want to hear how y'all feel about it. Smash that like button and share this video with somebody who feels like their vote doesn't count or voting don't matter. And hit that subscribe button so we can keep shining the light on these games. It's no face ID. Stay aware, stay loud, and never let them silence your community. We don't stay quiet. We stay diligent.
No face ID.
I'd like to just personally thank you for watching this video. And always turn those notifications on so you can catch me on the next one. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. Until then, I'm out.